Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So I'm on here to talk about Nancy Guthrie this morning. After absolutely nothing going on for quite a while, seems like a lot of things happened yesterday. Now, first of all, I just want to say I'm a little bit grouchy this morning. I didn't sleep well at all last night. I had a terrible night's sleep. Um, and so I'm a little bit spaced out this morning. Let me put a picture of Nancy up there. So, yeah, not quite with it this morning, trying to get the coffee down me, leaving on the black coffee, just some strong coffee. Just one of those nights, when you have those nights you can't sleep. And I think I ate something yesterday, so my stomach was like, just like something that didn't agree with me. I don't know. So, anyway, there you go. I'm here. I'm up. I'm ready. I'm going to talk about Nancy. I say quite a lot to talk about. Let me put my banner up before I'm going to say my thank yous in a minute before I start properly. So yeah, a bit of a busy day today because my dogs, Rocky and Riley, they're going for a clip. So they're going to have their hair done. So I've got to get that sorted. I've got classes and things, but I wanted to come on. That's why I couldn't sleep in this morning. Of course, when it was time to get up, that's when I wanted to sleep after tossing and turning all night. And you know what it's like, and then you've got to get up, and it's like, oh, please let me just have one more hour. And I couldn't because I needed to get up and do this video. So, anyway, hope you're all well. Hope you're all well. Yeah, some really quite, I can't really call them developments because there's still no arrest been made. As far as we know, there's still not a suspect identified or even a vehicle identified. Seem no closer in finding out exactly what really happened to Nancy, do we? But just a few interesting things that happened yesterday, and I'm going to go through them. I mean, this is the craziest case I can ever remember. Just poor Nancy, where is she? Where is she? And what's going on with her family? And, Savannah going back to work and it's in the end, it's one of those cases that in the end you're sort of speechless, really, because you haven't got a clue what's happening. Everyone's got their theories. There's the theories from the family being involved to, being taken off to Mexico. There's all these theories, but they are just theories, people's opinions. Nobody knows. None of us know what happened to Nancy. Not yet. Hopefully, we'll find out. And this case will be solved sooner or later. Hopefully, it's not just going to lurch on and on with all these crazy things coming out every now and again, but never really getting anywhere. Let's hope that's not what's going to happen. So, okay. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Completely free. Like, share, subscribe. Completely free. Don't forget to press the notification bell so you get any updates as soon as they come out, as soon as I know about them. Special thanks to those of you who sent me Ko-fis, bought me super stickers, PayPal'd me, emailed me. I've had a lot of emails about this case, I can honestly say. Lots and lots of emails, lots of people with very strong opinions about all the aspects of this case, and I appreciate all of them. But all I would say is we don't know what's happened to Nancy. We don't. Our views are just our views, despite what podcasters say, including me. I will give my view. And anyway, I've had a lot of emails, but thank you. I appreciate the emails because it's interesting to see what everybody else thinks as well. So yeah, thank you so much. Hello, you lovely lurkers. Thank you for watching. got to excuse the state of me because I've literally got ready in about 5 minutes this morning after not sleeping all night. Hello, replay crew. Nice to see you. Let's take the banner off now. Is anybody up and about this morning? Oh, yeah. Hi, Tracy. Hi, old hippie. Yes, I did get your email, old hippie. Yeah, very interesting. But, that podcaster you're talking about, that's True Crime with the Sarge. I've seen him. I like him. But let's not forget, these are still just opinions. Nobody knows anything. Feasible. It's all feasible, isn't it? It's all feasible, but there's no evidence for anything, I'm afraid. So now the first thing I want to start with this morning is Savannah going back to work. In fact, let's have a picture of Savannah at her desk up. Oh, Savannah. One thing I have noticed from the emails you send me and the comments that people make, she's not very popular. He seems to be on Savannah. She's strange. Obviously she must be popular on the Today Show, mustn't she? How she got to where she is. She must be quite popular with the public. I don't know. I mean, I'd never heard of Savannah Guthrie before this case. I've never watched the Today Show. Obviously, I'm not American, but and I don't get American TV. I do get British TV and Spanish TV, but I'd never heard of Savannah. And now I know quite a lot about her, of course. There's a lot of mixed feelings about Savannah, or according to the emails and comments that I get. So here she is. She reappeared on the Today Show yesterday in this lovely yellow lacy dress. I've got a similar dress to that, but it's in pink. I'd quite like a yellow one, actually. But anyway, I'm digressing. Yeah, bright and breezy. Now, there's different ways of looking at this. I mean, to me, I can see why she's gone back to work, because what else are you going to do? And don't forget, she is a media personality. I think that just the fact, if you've always lived your working life anyway, in the public eye, I think it's difficult to get your head around her going back to work in one way. But the other thing you have to remember as well is Savannah didn't live right next to her mum like Annie and Tommaso did. So she's quite removed, isn't she? She's in New York City, in New York. And she had I don't know how to explain this. It's just similar to me when my parents died. I was in Spain, so I wasn't seeing them every day anyway. I was only seeing them a couple of times a year. I was talking to them on the phone and things like that, and writing letters actually. In the time when people used to write letters, me and my dad used to write each other letters. But it wasn't. It was quite a strange feeling then when they died, and then when I went back the next time to the UK. It was like, well, where's mum and dad? I just don't know how to explain it, how it feels when you're sort of removed from it. Still your parents or your loved one or whoever it is, but they're not in your daily life where you see them every day. So it's probably a different loss for Savannah than it is for Annie, who did live just up the road and saw her mum every day. I don't know. So maybe that's why she can step out, come back. Maybe it's just, she just got to do something. She's got a career. She's got 2 young children. She's probably, I don't know if she's the main provider or not. I think her husband's got quite a good job as well. But, I don't know. Well, let me know what you think. Do you think it's too, are you surprised that Savannah's gone back to work? Also, it is the sort of job where you have to put your face on, isn't it? You can't go on the Today Show like with no makeup on and, blubbering all over the place. She just can't. So maybe that's a good thing because it keeps you together. Sometimes work can keep you together. But then there's the other way of looking at it. I mean, we look at this photo. She looks very bright and breezy, doesn't she? I mean, a lot of us, we would, because it's not even just like losing your parent, is it? Where your parent, if you become bereaved, it's not only that, it's not knowing where she is, what's happened to her, hasn't she? And that how she thinks about it all the time and worries, what happened to her mum, what's she going through at the moment, or is she in heaven, or so anyway, the thing is, none of us know what we would do unless we're in that position, and hopefully we'll never be in that position. So yeah, so Savannah's, a lot of people, one thing I've noticed, as I say, about emails I've received, comments that people have left, she's not that popular with a lot of people. And do people think she's not showing enough emotion? But what, is it just part of a TV personality? I mean, she is a TV presenter. That's what she does. And has she gone into that mode? I mean, I had to still teach classes when my dad died. I'd just had the news of my dad dying, and I had to still do a weeks of classes, English classes. It was at the time, actually, to pass on my students to another teacher who was going to take over my classes while I was in the UK for the funeral. I still had to do those classes. I didn't feel like doing them, and but I didn't break down during the classes. I did it because sometimes it just kicks in that just what you have to do, doesn't it? So anyway, you'll let me know what you think about Savannah. So let's have now the other thing. Now I'm going to show you sort of the lead up. So they made a big thing of it on the Today Show that it was her first day back. There were crowds outside waiting for her. She went out and she was all. It reminds me of the Erica Kirk. I think a lot of us were sort of like gobsmacked with the way Erica Kirk acted after Charlie Kirk was very sadly assassinated. Again, she's like a bit of a show person, isn't she? Thing is, everybody deals with grief in different ways. I personally found the way that Erica Kirk has behaved since Charlie died I've been incredulous about it. But there you go. She's a young woman, a young widow, and I don't know. I don't know how you are supposed to act, but she was on stage with pyrotechnics and God knows what. And you just sort of like, oh, but of course that's her. You can't tell other people how they should act, I suppose. And even if you don't understand it, you don't understand it. And of course, it's a different world in America. Americans, I don't know, maybe if you're in that sort of world, like Erica Kirk and now Savannah. Savannah reminds me a lot of Erica Kirk at the moment. Maybe that's just what you do because that's the world that you live in. But anyway, so let's have a look at Savannah on her first day back. Savannah Guthrie returns to the Today Show. So the Today Show, of course, is like, it's the breakfast show, isn't it? It's the breakfast show. Let's have a look at this. Yeah. I'll make sure it's showing in a moment. for her to sit there. Well, it's a lovely little dress she's got on. Big smile on her face. Expect she doesn't really feel like smiling, but I mean, you can't go on the Today Show, can you, without smiling? So, let me share it. It's not sharing. You're there to sort of brighten up everybody's day. That's what morning TV presenters do, and there she was. Let's have a listen to it. You have to let me know that you can hear it okay. Actually, I can find out. I can put it on my phone and then I'll know. Yeah, I'm sort of, the jury's out with me with Savannah. I know, as I say, from what people have messaged me, sent me emails, etc. A lot of people are not that struck with Savannah and seem to think she's not grieving enough. But, what do you think? Let me know what you think. Let's see. I can check on here if it's working or not. If the sound's working.
Morning, welcome to Today on this Monday morning. We are so glad you started your week with us, and it is good to be home.
Yes, it is good to have you back at home.
Well, here we go, ready or not.
Yeah.
Let's do the news.
Yes, so good to have you back.
We are back at 8:30 on this beautiful Monday morning, and it's a special Monday morning for us and for this crowd as well. Special because we're welcoming back our North Star. Yeah. SG, come on out here. Come on back up.
I'm not sure about this.
Good morning. Good morning.
They've been waiting for it.
These signs are so beautiful. You guys have been so beautiful. I've received so many letters, so much kindness to me and my whole family. We feel it. We feel your prayers. So thank you so much.
It's not just today. They've been out here
every day.
every day.
This is such a nice
signs.
pocket square. I don't want to slobber on it. Okay, no, it is. I know. I'm sorry.
How little is a million of them?
Okay. We love you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today.
Let's just watch it one more time. So don't forget, let me know what you think. But yeah, all those crowds cheering and everything. But then what else? How else are they going to do it? And I suppose she's got to come back here sometime. I mean, she can't just give up work, can she? I doubt very much that, much as money as she might have or not have, money doesn't last long, does it, if it stops coming in? And then she likes that job. I'm sure she wants to do it. She enjoys doing it. She's built up to this job all her life. So that's one side of it that I look at. And another side, I think, I don't know if I could do that if my mum was still missing. If my mum had died, your mothers do die, as elderly people die. But it's the circumstances. Could you do it? Could you sit there and be composed?
Morning, welcome to Today on this Monday morning. We are so glad you started your week with us, and it is good to be home.
Yes, it is good to have you back at home.
Well, here we go, ready or not.
Yeah.
Let's do the news.
Yes, so good to have you back.
We are back at 8:30 on this beautiful Monday morning, and it's a special Monday morning for us and for this crowd as well. Special because we're welcoming back our North Star. Yeah. SG, come on out here. Come on back up.
Good morning. Good morning.
They've been waiting for it.
How does it feel?
These signs are so beautiful. You guys have been so beautiful. I've received so many letters, so much kindness to me and my whole family. We feel it. We feel your prayers. So thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, that it is. I know. I'm sorry.
How little is a million of
Oh, yeah, there's been people out there every day waiting for her. And, you know, Tracy, what you say there, I think that's completely right. Whatever Savannah does, she'll get judged one way or another. There'll be people who'll be saying, oh, how could she go back to work? You know, how could she do that? She doesn't care enough or whatever. And then if she hadn't gone back to work, there'll be people out there who'll be criticising that for whatever reason. It's sort of like you get, yeah, exactly. Now, you'll get judged, whatever you do. That's what happens to people in the public realm. That's the downside of being a famous person. You know, you've got the upside. She's at the pinnacle of her career, the morning show. You know, she's earning good money and, you know, all those good things that come with being a morning host, presenter, a respected journalist, etc. Those are all the good things, of course, that come with it. But, you know, there are bad things. People will judge you. People will, you know, examine everything you do. The thing is, people will be saying, oh, you know, how could she come out all made up like that? But she couldn't come out any other way. She can't come out in a, you know, in a black bin bag or whatever, and, you know, joggers from the weekend and no makeup on, can she? So, you know, it's a very difficult situation. So I'm not judging Savannah. She's, you know, just doing what she does. She is Savannah Guthrie, you know, so I am Vicky Marie. It's like I can't judge her. I can't, you know, some people would in a situation like this just curl up and not want to leave the house. Some people would do that, but everybody's got different personality, haven't they? So anyway, that's what she's done. She's gone back to work, and of course there is still, I think it's very difficult for Savannah because there's always, you know, this thought is has my mum been kidnapped because of me? You know, because I've shown her on my show, you know, because she did bring Nancy onto her show quite a few times. So for that reason, Nancy became better known, didn't she? Whereas if Nancy, you know, most people, you know, if I think about other money shows, like over in the UK, you've got, I don't know, is it Good Morning Britain? I don't know. I don't ever watch them anymore. But I don't even know anything about their parents. You know, Susanna Reid, isn't it? She's the sort of lead female presenter on there. I haven't got a clue about her parents. You know, she never brings her parents onto the show, or not that I've ever seen, but I say I haven't watched it for probably 2 years. Maybe she's had her mum on there, I don't know. But, you know, it's Savannah and her mum seem to have a close relationship, you know, and her mum was on the show quite a few times. So is it because of that Nancy got targeted? You know, we don't know, do we? So that's something else she has to live with. Anyway, so I wanted to show that first because that seemed to set off a chain of events yesterday. So yesterday, of course, it was Easter Monday, but I don't know if that's a holiday in the USA or not. It was a holiday here in Spain. All the shops were still closed. Today is the first day back now after Easter. I don't know what the situation is in America. So that show was on, you know, and she started back yesterday. And that set off a chain of events, because then after seemed to sort of trigger Savannah going on returning to the Today Show, and then TMZ, which is the sort of celebrity news website, isn't it? Notes. yesterday from the kidnappers, or not from the kidnappers, but from this person who allegedly knows who they are. So this sent these notes, and they could tell from the I don't know, the IP address, I suppose. I mean, I cannot believe that the FBI hasn't been able to trace these notes down. It's just crazy, isn't it? You know, I think what's happened is these people who, or person, whoever it is, has sent them in through the TMZ website. You know, if you go on a website and it'll contact, you know, say contact normally somewhere, and they don't always have a phone number, an email address. They have a contact form online. That's how they've come in these. I don't know if it's that's made it more difficult to. Haven't come from, you know, an email. I mean, I don't know, but that's what they're saying. So because these communications have come through the website, through a contact form submission on the website, that's why they can't be traced. And then, of course, they're still asking for Bitcoin. They're asking for half a Bitcoin, apparently, to let people know where Nancy is. They say they know where she is. I hope they do. I mean, I wish to God it was true that they do know where she is, whether she's local, whether she has gone over the border to Mexico, or wherever she's been taken and discarded, because I think she has been discarded. Or in the best case scenario, if wherever she's being held. I hope to God, you know, that this is true and that it can lead to finding Nancy, but I don't know. Well, anyway, I'm going to read you the article, or we're going to look at the video from TMZ, and then, of course, personally, I think these ransom notes are genuine. But apparently the FBI and Savannah, of course, said that they thought that 2 of the original notes were genuine. These ones have come, according to TMZ, they've come from the same person who sent the other ones, say, not the original ones that Savannah thinks are genuine or probably genuine, but the one that sent communications saying he didn't do it, he had nothing to do with it, he's been living out of the country, presumably Mexico, don't know. But he saw Nancy, he knows who did it, he knows where she is. That's what this guy has said, and he's asking for. He was asking for 1 Bitcoin, wasn't he? Anyway, apparently now he's asking for half of one. But anyway, we'll look at it, and you know, you let me know what you think. What can we, you know, what can we say? I mean, it's like it's just you know. Could it be real, and why haven't the FBI been able to trace him even from his Bitcoin account? Because I'm presuming with Bitcoin, it's still got to go into an account. You know, recently I've been watching quite a few of these romance scam videos. I was going to do a video on that one day. So interesting. Now people just give money away, don't they, to scammers that they've never met or never spoken to in person. Just incredible how many people do it, men and women. And even when they get found out, they still carry on doing it. It's just crazy. But anyway. But the people on there, like the people that hunt them down, they always seem to find a way of into their accounts and tracing them. So you'd think the FBI would be able to do it, wouldn't you? But anyway, what do I know? I'm just a YouTuber. I haven't got a clue how things work like that. So let's have a look. TMZ. Trying to think which one it was. Yeah. So the thing about TMZ as well, you know, why TMZ? Why they're you know, they're an entertainment website. Why go through them? You know, unless it's just that they know maybe these people know. Hi Daniel, maybe these people know that's sorry, just let me see. Yeah, maybe these people know that they can go through the TMZ website and you know, not be able to be traced. Maybe they know something about it. Another theory that a lot of people are putting out is that TMZ are doing it just for clicks, you know, for attention. It's possible. You know, nothing would surprise me in this crazy world. Then I've seen other people saying that some of the streamers are doing it, you know, for clicks and, you know, to keep the case, interest in the case alive. I mean, I suppose it's not beyond the realms of possibility that the FBI are doing it. Do you think the FBI are doing it to try and flush someone out? Somebody's doing it. Somebody's sending these tips, emails, whatever they are. Somebody's doing it, and they'll have their reasons for doing it. So, yeah. Is it TMZ themselves? Is it a streamer who's trying to keep the case going because they're making a fortune out of it? Is it the FBI themselves? Is it Sheriff Nanos? Just could be Sheriff Nanos, couldn't it? I mean, we just could be anyone, could be me, could be you. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy, and it's sad, really, because it's like this case has turned into a bit of a farce, hasn't it? What with Nanos and everything, all these bloody tips and things, and the gloves, you know, black gloves all over the place. You know, it's you know, it's dealing with a disappearance of an elderly lady. It's as serious as you can get, isn't it? You know, but it's turning into this sort of, I don't know, this farce with the two false arrests, or not arrests, but the two detentions and then releases, and, you know, all the issues over Sheriff Nanos. And then now the streamers are arguing between themselves. It's like, oh my God, it's like drama. It's like this sort of, I don't know, soap opera. Apart from the fact of Nancy being disappeared, poor Nancy. Sometimes I feel like she's getting lost in all the other things going on. Anyway, so apparently this person says, I saw her alive with kidnappers in Mexico. Tipster still wants Bitcoin. So there are a couple of new notes in the Nancy Guthrie cold case. They're calling it a cold case. I don't think it's a cold case yet. It's only 2 months. I doubt very much that it's a cold case. Both from the same person offering information on the kidnapper, but for the first time they're revealing an exact location, and they are claiming they saw her in Mexico. So TMZ received the first new note Monday morning, the same day Savannah made her return to today. And it's from the person who has been offering to rat out the kidnappers for nearly 2 months now. They say their demand is for 1 Bitcoin to deliver them on a silver platter still stands. So they apparently said they needed this Bitcoin, which is it worth about $50,000 or so? I can't remember how much it's worth. That they needed it to remain anonymous or whatever, you know, that they were worried about their own safety. But do you know what? If they went through the proper channels, there's $1.2 million on offer for information leading to finding Nancy. Why don't they just do it that way? the proper way and then go into witness protection or something. You know, I don't understand why they would do it this way. So that's part of the reason why I don't actually believe they're true. But anyway, let's see the video.
You know, I will share a little bit of news with you. The person who has been incessantly contacting us,
although
saying,
stopped for a while.
Yeah. We got another letter today from this person, an email saying, I know where her body is and who the kidnapper is. Give me half a Bitcoin and I'll tell you. And this person has been really persistent, knowing that if it's a scam, it's a federal crime.
Right. But they also made the point that they wanted to.
Yeah, if it's a scam, it's a massive crime. You know, so someone has already been arrested for a false kidnap note and they're going through the court system at the moment. So, you know, if this person is pretending to know something and just because, you know, they're a pretty sad individual who are, you know, there are sad individuals, sadly, out there who do things like this. You know, well, I say one's been arrested already. So if this person, why would they send it to these people? I mean, no disrespect to them, but this is an entertainment website, you know, an entertainment magazine type thing. Why would they send it to TMZ? You know, it's like they just it's like for attention. It feels to me that this is a person looking for attention. What do you think? Let me know what you think. I mean, do you think these notes are real? Or is it unlikely? And, you know, and then they're, you know, again, no disrespect to them, they're sort of standing there having this conversation about it. But really, they should, when they receive that, they shouldn't publicize them. They should go straight to the FBI, and it should be something between them and the FBI, not something for them to present on their website. You know, it's all wrong, isn't it? It's all wrong the way it's been dealt with. You know, if it was your mum, if that was my mum, honest to God, I'd be down there, I'd be so angry with these people that are talking about it on air like this. I'd be really angry. You know, because I'd want it to go to the FBI and be dealt with properly, not be dealt with on air on TMZ. You know, I think it's quite disrespectful, actually.
Make it clear that they have nothing to do with it.
Right.
They've been out of the country, but who knows?
We forwarded
it to the FBI,
right,
as we have in the past. And
right.
For whatever reason, and this is the thing we haven't figured out, you have to assume that the law enforcement, they believe that this person is not legit. Otherwise, they would have advised Savannah to pay the money.
Can we just be really transparent?
Uh-huh.
I think you're right that the law enforcement doesn't. There's something.
I just can't figure out why.
There's something.
Take a flyer. The price of Bitcoin is much lower now. These are like, you could just take a flyer and see what the person knows. The most you lose is 20 grand, 25 grand.
I'll tell you why. My spidey senses tell me that there's something about this guy, because one of the emails he sent said early on, time is of the essence to do this. And then the next day he said, time is no longer of the essence. If he was pulling a scam.
That's interesting, isn't it? So apparently he said one day time is of the essence, meaning that Nancy was still alive, but maybe suffering. And then the next day he said time is no longer of the essence. There was definitely a change, wasn't there, with Savannah, where she went from, it seemed like she felt her mum was still alive, to then feeling that, you know, the impression you got from the appeals that she made was she was no longer alive. And maybe there's a reason why they think that. I don't know. Just, you know, we don't know all what's going on behind the scenes, do we? So maybe the FBI have got a suspect and they're just gathering their evidence together. Maybe they know 100% that Nancy hasn't gone to Mexico for whatever reason. or maybe they know 100% that she has gone to Mexico. But they're building their evidence or trying to find Nancy. It is such what a mess this case is, really, isn't it? It is a mess, and sadly, Nancy is the victim.
Why would you say time is no longer of the essence?
Right. You want to keep the value high. You want to keep the value high.
Yeah. And the fact that he said this made me think, this guy knows something.
Yeah, it's a way to look honest as well, though.
I'm not, look, I'm not FBI.
We're not privy to all the information they are, but
you're talking
just from the outside looking in, it sure seems like this person knows something.
Now, I think we have to, I'm going to play that one more time. We have to assume, for TMZ, it's better for them, isn't it, that they say that this person knows something, because TMZ are getting the publicity from it, aren't they? So,
I will share a little bit of news with you. The person who has been incessantly contacting us,
although stopped for a while.
Yeah. We got another letter today from this person, an email saying, I know where her body is and who the kidnapper is. Give me half a Bitcoin and I'll tell you. And this person has been really persistent, knowing that if it's a scam, it's a federal crime.
Right. But they also made the point that they wanted to make it clear that they have nothing to do with it.
Right.
They've been out of the country, but who knows?
We forwarded
it to the FBI,
right,
as we have in the past. And
right.
For whatever reason, and this is the thing we haven't figured out, you have to assume that the law enforcement, they believe that this person is not legit. Otherwise, they would have advised Savannah to pay the money.
Can we just be really transparent? I think you're right that the law enforcement doesn't. There's something.
I just can't figure out why.
There's something. Take a flyer. The price of Bitcoin is much lower now. These are you could just take a flyer and see what the person knows. The most you lose is 20 grand, 25 grand.
I'll tell you why. My spidey senses tell me that there's something about this guy, because one of the emails he sent said early on, time is of the essence to do this. And then the next day he said, time is no longer of the essence. If he was pulling a scam, why would you say time is no longer of the essence?
Right. You want to keep the value high.
You want to keep the value high.
Yeah.
And the fact that he said this made me think, this guy knows something.
Yeah. It's a way to look honest as well, though.
I'm not, look, I'm not FBI.
We're not privy to all the information they are, but
you're talking
just from the outside looking in, it sure seems like this person knows something.
So, what do you think about that? Anyway, who knows? So, shortly after we talked about the first note on TMZ Live, the person sent a second letter saying, I saw her alive with them in the state of Sonora, Mexico. Sonora is a large Mexican state bordering Arizona and parts of New Mexico. Nancy was abducted from her home in Tucson, Arizona, about 70 miles from the border on February the 1st. However, the sender is not suggesting that Nancy is still alive. In the first note, they say she is dead. We sent the first note to the FBI, but it seems the feds aren't convinced it's legit, at least based on the fact there's been no deposit into the related Bitcoin address, the same account they created back in February. The person who sent the notes clearly senses the FBI's disbelief, has that same sense, because the first letter says, it's unbelievable that millions have been wasted, and yet here I am, willing to deliver them on a silver platter since the 11th of February for a Bitcoin, but I am disregarded as a scam. They are free and the case is frozen, but the egos remain hot when it comes to me. Arrogance at its finest. Yeah, I don't know. You know, people do these things. They send these notes, don't they? And anyway, here's the person who was at Nancy's house that night. Let's just have a look at this video. Not seen it for a little while. Yeah. Very strange the way they walk up to the door there, isn't it? No, hiding their face from the camera. Let's watch that again. Yeah. What the hell was going on that night? Poor Nancy. Just imagine waking up to that face looking at you. Terrifying. What's in that backpack? What is in it? And if the person had been to the house before, why did they have to pick plants up to put out the camera, to block the camera? Why didn't they take something with them, some spray paint or something? Anyway, just thought I'd show you that. So Bitcoin's price has been dropping, so it's interesting that Nancy and the FBI aren't even taking a flyer here. The person says they will give up the info for half a Bitcoin, and that when there is a public arrest, the other half gets transferred to their Bitcoin wallet. They also try to distance themselves from Nancy's kidnapping, claiming they've been out of the US for more than 5 years, presumably in Mexico, and they had nothing to do with the horrific crime. In the second note, the person claims they're not motivated by greed and insists, I just want what's fair and to live peacefully with enough to start my life again quietly without having to join a witness protection program. Well, I don't know about them, but if it was me, I'd want to join a witness protection program. I wouldn't want to be, because someone might find out who they were, somebody, one of the perpetrators or a friend of the perpetrators could easily find out who they were, maybe. So wouldn't you want to go into a witness protection program? And there's a massive reward. I mean, he's saying that all he wants is enough money to live peacefully. He doesn't need $1 million. He doesn't want $1.2 million. Anyway, so the FBI are aware of these two further notes that have been received. Are they genuine? I don't know. I literally do not know. But as I say, let me know what you think. Now, the last thing that I just want to talk about is the other development, that if you can call it a development. So a lot of the streamers are, of course, still outside Nancy's house, and good that they're out there doing something. I don't know. I've got mixed feelings about it. It does feel a bit like being a stalker, doesn't it? Following the family around. You wouldn't want a streamer outside your house, would you? I mean, you just wouldn't. You wouldn't like it that every time. I mean, they don't live there, of course. Annie and Tommaso, the family, they don't live at Nancy's house, but it means that every time they go there, there's cameras on them. So anyway, some video was captured. People are making a big deal of the fact that, so these are the things that happened yesterday. Oh, I think my sound went off. Am I back? Let me know that I'm back now, or I can check maybe on here. I have to turn the sound up. Hi, Julie. Yeah, I'm back now. Must be something in the air, Julie. I think because it's quite hot. I did spend quite a lot of time in the sun yesterday. So maybe that's the sun's got to me. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you're feeling better. I feel okay. It's just I'm tired because I didn't sleep well. Yeah, Crohn's. Yeah, Crohn's a horrible thing, isn't it? I think I've got like IBS. I think everybody, I tell you what, I did eat yesterday. Food that wasn't, it's not really good, like potato croquettes. I mean, not anything mega, but you know, just with the breadcrumbs around that just doesn't seem to agree with me. But anyway, so learnt that lesson. Won't be having any more potato croquettes. So I really like them though. So yeah, you wouldn't want a streamer outside your house filming you every time you walked out the door. But as I say, they do not live there. But so all these developments happened one after the other yesterday as far as American time is concerned. So we had Savannah returning to the Today Show. That seemed to precipitate the other two notes, you know. Hi, Mike, straight up. That seemed to precipitate the other two well, they're not ransom notes, are they? Whatever information notes from and then as well, there was a big thing made of. So Tommaso turned up at Annie's house, and there was some footage taken of him. Now, of course, Tommaso, ever since Ashley Banfield said he was a suspect, he's been thought of as a suspect. A lot of people, they're not moving on from that, you know, so it's difficult to move on from Tommaso being the suspect. Since Ashley Banfield said it, everybody ran with it. And then I think that, you know, I think, because it does make sense for Tommaso being the suspect, and that, you know, they were the last people to see Nancy. You know, it's inexplicable if you think about it that it wasn't them, but if it was them, it sort of makes more sense. I think that's why people can't move on from it. I'm not saying that it was them, I'm just saying that's the reasons why I think people sort of stick to it, and the fact that the real perpetrator hasn't been caught. So that's what it might take before people move off thinking of Tommaso as a suspect. Might take the real perps to be caught before, you know, he's always going to live under a shadow, isn't he, if the perpetrators aren't caught. So anyway, this is Tommaso. So apparently he raced up to the house like, you know, very sort of sped into the driveway. That's how it was described, like a bat out of hell. He met with an FBI lady, I think, there. So what were they there for? Who knows? Was it anything precipitated by Savannah returning to the Today Show, or the notes received by TMZ? Or was it just, you know, they had to meet there just to talk about something or just to check up on something? I mean, we don't know why he was there or why. But anyway, so it led to a short video being captured of him. I think it was Criminal Network that captured so credit to Criminal Network who captured the video. No, I mean, there's nothing to it. It's just Tommaso coming out of the house, just get a look at his walk, I suppose. A lot of people are still not convinced that it wasn't Tommaso in the mask walking. You know, he has got quite a distinctive walk. But, you know, my heart does go out to him, really, because, I mean, if he is involved, obviously my heart doesn't go out to him. He deserves everything he gets. But if he's not involved, how awful to have those aspersions cast on you, you know, it's awful, really, isn't it? I mean, one idiot on here on Twitter put up this video and said, "Oh, very strange man, very strange walk," you know, like as if that's, you know, what, something you're guilty of if you've got a strange walk. I don't know. Anyway, it's good to compare the walk. I do think the perpetrator that walked up to Steph had a distinctive walk, and it could have been Tommaso. could have been anyone. But the thing is, you know, if it was Tommaso, he had some makeup on under that thing, because Tommaso is not as dark. You know, his goatee and everything. He's got that big beard, and it's mainly white. So I don't think his eyes look like him. You know, I'm very doubtful that that would be Tommaso, but yeah. So the poor guy was just coming out of Nancy's house and he got captured on video. And I'm showing it now. I'm doing just the same. Really shouldn't be showing it, I suppose. But there's sort of another. There's a part of us. You know, we want the answers. We're sort of soaking up any information we can about this case. We want to know what's happened. Which video do you mean, old hippie? Which video? You're saying if you play the video all the way, they will answer all your questions. Who will? Listen, no one's answering my questions except the FBI. People can say what they think. People will be out there saying what they think's happened to Nancy and giving their reasons for what they think. And that's not answering my questions, because they're just theories. Nobody knows anything, however well informed they are, however, you know, they're just theories. Everything is theory at the moment, I think. So, you know, and everyone will have their opinions on what's happened to Nancy. So until someone provides me with evidence that Nancy has gone to Mexico, like a vehicle that had her in there and crossed the border, or if this guy comes forward with some proper evidence about where Nancy is. Now, that may happen. You know, maybe they should pay him the money and see if he does come up with a location for Nancy. And if Nancy is recovered one way or another, then I'll believe she's gone to Mexico. But until then, just because people are telling me that they think she's gone to Mexico, they don't know any more than I do, or you do, or we do. We just don't know. It's still a case in the. It's still a case just that we don't know. Yeah, but I know what you're saying. I know you want me to say I believe they've gone to Mexico, but I don't. And just because somebody tells me they think they've gone to Mexico, unless they've got evidence to prove that she's gone to Mexico, I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, she's definitely gone to Mexico. I don't know where she is. She may be in Mexico. She could be anywhere. Really could be anywhere. So, yeah, somebody, you know, there's, you know, it makes you speechless, this case, doesn't it? Because we have had no official information for ages. Nothing. That's why people are all there, you know, all over the internet theorizing about it, because we've got no proper information, still no press conference. You know, it's just, you know, we're still in the dark about all of it, and we're just left with our opinions. And, you know, that's what we're left with. We haven't got anything else but opinions. We've got no evidence of anything, sadly. See, I'm wondering which picture to put up. I think I put up this one. Yeah, sadly, this is the person. I don't think it looks like Tommaso, but the walk does look a bit like Tommaso's. You know, it's all conjecture. Now, something interesting that will be happening today, of course, is there's going to be a meeting, apparently, about the sheriff at the Pima County town hall or whatever. Something, and so the streamers are going to be there. So that'll be interesting. I do think that for this case to ever get resolved, I think we have to see the back of this man. I think this guy is holding the case up. He's just, I think there's, because of him, there's demoralization, you know, the the sheriff's department is demoralized. He's not working well with the FBI. So I think there's real issues there. And I mean him, not his team. I'm sure the teams, apparently, according to sources like from Brian Ensign and people, the teams are working together better now, the FBI and the sheriff's department. But he doesn't remember, we watched that video yesterday. He doesn't think he made any mistakes whatsoever. So he's not climbing down or being humble and saying, oh yeah, perhaps we did do it the wrong way. So there's going to be a meeting about him. So it'd be about Sheriff Nana. What I'd like to see is, it's all very well, all this, conjecture and things. But, I'd like to see some proper press conference with some information from the law authorities. I mean, they've obviously got more information than we know about. Surely some of it they could put out there. I don't know. It's like they're not even, they're just not coming out and saying anything, are they? So I find that strange in a case like this. There's always some information you can give out. Like people say, like there's the video from the Uber. Apparently, the police have got what's the word? They've got video from the Uber that Nancy was in. Why don't they show that? Why don't they want to show that? If they've got it, of course. I'll tell you what it would take, old hippie. You remember that old thing called evidence? Evidence. Do you remember that? Not just, oh yeah, I think she's in Mexico. If Nancy's in Mexico, somebody shows me a photo of her in Mexico or a vehicle going over the border that the FBI say that she was in, then I believe she's in Mexico. That's what it will take. Evidence. For all of it. Evidence. Do you remember it? It's necessary. Funnily enough, I know you're dying for it to be in Mexico. I know that, hippie, and that's fine. That's a theory that you've got. And you're using confirmation bias by watching videos that confirm what you think. But, watch other videos that say she's not in Mexico. It's like, where's the evidence? Where's the proof? That's what it will take to make me say she's in Mexico. And do you know what? When the day that proof comes out, if it ever does, I'll be like, oh, old hippie was right. But at the moment, there is no evidence. There is no proof. There's just people. And I like True Crime with the Sarge. I like that YouTube channel. And I've got respect for him, but it's still only his view. It's not what he knows. So, yeah, that's what it would take. Evidence. That's what everybody needs to move forward to a court case. Won't go to a court case saying, oh yeah, True Crime with the Sarge said she's in Mexico, and the judge goes, oh right, okay, she was in Mexico, was she? Oh right, okay, because True Crime with the Sarge said so. Just like I say, I think she's local there somewhere. But that's not going to stand up in court, is it? Not going to go to court and say, oh, well, Vicky Marie said she was local, so she must be right. Need evidence for everything. That's just the way it is. That's the way it is. So that's where we are. So we'll see what happens at this meeting. I'd like to see the back of Sheriff Nanos. I think, sometimes cases do need fresh eyes as well, because this was all done wrong. I feel like this investigation's always on the back foot because, and then all the ransom notes and everything have just made the waters murky around it all. And it's a shame, because it's a shame for Nancy, because Nancy, she is out there somewhere, be it Mexico, or maybe somewhere completely that nobody's even thought of, because it might not necessarily have gone the Mexico way. They could have gone the other way. She could be anywhere in that desert, literally could be anywhere. We don't know where she is. Nobody knows where she is until she's found. And just pray every day that she does get found one way or another, isn't it? Now, just a little bit of news aside from this case that I want to tell people who follow my channel. The Samantha Murphy case, the trial was supposed to start today. Now, we've all been looking forward to that. That's another case that, well, it's resolved in one way. Somebody's been charged with Samantha Murphy's murder. But of course, he's pleading not guilty, and her remains have never been found. So it was due to start today. But it's not going to start today, apparently. So apparently it's been set back to June, I think. Can't even really find any. You can't even really find any information about the trial. I mean, they're so secretive in Australia. So anyway, it was supposed to start today, but I don't think it's going to start today. So just to let you know that, because I know people have been expecting it to start, as have I. I've been looking forward to covering it, finding out what really happened to Samantha, because we don't know anything about that case either. We just know, someone was arrested, then Samantha's phone was found, but he's not cooperating. He's just a young lad, isn't he, who's been arrested, Patrick Stevenson. And we were hoping, because that's the way Australian justice works. There's nothing allowed out until it comes to the trial. So we've got to wait for the trial. So I think it's been pushed back till June. So that's not only obviously a shame for us, but for Samantha's family. They've got to wait another couple of months to get their answers, which is a terrible shame. But anyway, aside from that, I just wanted to tell you about that, because there will be some of you out there that are waiting for me to talk about Samantha's case. But going back to Nancy's case, let's see what happens with this meeting. Will Sheriff Nanos get removed? I hope so. Hopefully that will make a difference, and maybe these notes that are being sent to TMZ, maybe they are genuine. Personally, I don't think they are, but again, I don't know. And then if that money is paid to that person, you'd think they would pay it, the FBI or someone would pay it, because that's a way of trying. Then when the person goes to collect the money from the Bitcoin wallet or whatever, would they be able to easier to trace then? I don't know. Anyway, and then there's always the chance that they might say if they really do know where Nancy is, there's the chance then that because what they've said is if they pay half a Bitcoin first, they will tell them where Nancy is, and then after that they will then expect the other half or something. So yeah, is it true, or is it just some sad loser at home in his his mum's basement or whatever, like just doing it just for the hell of it, see if he can get away with it, or to see if people believe him, and why hasn't he been found anyway? I just don't understand it. I think maybe we expect too much from the FBI. You always think, it's the FBI, they'll be able to find them, they'll be able to find them, they'll be able to trace them, and so when they don't, it's a big surprise, isn't it? It's like, why haven't the FBI been able to trace him? Is he cleverer? Because there's all this conjecture again. Is this person, some people are saying this person is an amateur, but he can't be that much of an amateur, because 2 months later and we still don't know anything. So he's doing quite well for an amateur, really, isn't he? Is it even the same person? You know, I think I think it is the same person because the legs look very similar, don't they? But he looks a bit sort of porkier there, but maybe he's padded out there. You know, looks slimmer on that picture. They're supposed to have been taken on different days, aren't they? Just weird as well, because if he knew there was a camera there, you know, what's he doing just standing in front of the camera? It's just, I tell you, my gut feeling, if you like, is still that this thing was staged. I just feel like it's all staged. You know, we must do like a talk about this. You know, why is there blood on the front porch when the back doors supposedly were propped open? Why is the house immaculate? You know, no sign. You know, some people there was blood entrance, but now they're saying no, it was immaculate. You know, people are saying this is what. It's just a complete conundrum, all of it. And I really would not be surprised if this scene was completely staged. Something that, and when the truth comes out about what happened to Nancy, I think it will surprise everyone personally. I think somebody did this who knew Nancy well, knew her home well. Could be anyone who knows her well. But I do, yeah, I think there's a lot more to it. And when the truth comes out, it will surprise everybody. But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe she is in Mexico. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going now. Have a lovely day or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Yeah, let's see what happens, hopefully. Every time I do a video about Nancy, we say, hopefully there'll be some news soon, and nothing happens. But today might be the day, mightn't it? It could well be the day today. You know, at the end of the day, that's what the law enforcement always say. We only have to get lucky once. The perpetrator has to be lucky every day for the rest of their lives, don't they, really? So we're still waiting for the DNA as well. You know, of course, a lot of conjecture about that. Is it going to be of any use whatsoever? How long will it take to get results back, etc.? And of course, then you need a suspect to match it against, you know, which supposedly they haven't got. No vehicle. You know, it's a right mess, isn't it, really, the whole thing? Anyway, I'll see you really soon in the next video. Thank you for watching, and take care of you, because you are the most important person. And until I see you again, may your God go with you. Thank you. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe.